I'm way too different to treat the same.
Welcome back to another episode of Queens Being Honest. I'm Lala.
I'm Angel.
I'm Shammy.
I'm Sita.
I'm Danny.
It's JoJo.
It's Nicole.
I'm Sheila.
Today we're missing our girl Cheryl. She couldn't be with us today. She's actually protesting for us, so we're rooting for you out there, Cheryl.
Bye, baby. Bye, sis.
On today's episode, we like to keep it light here, so we try not to get too strong on the topics and just be free. We're talking about different aspects of a relationship that may cause someone to either break up or work through their relationship. The three phases would be: you're with a significant other, you break up, decide to get back together, and then you later find out they dated someone while you were broken up and this person is now pregnant. Would you stay with this person? Another would be you're with this person in a relationship and they step outside of your relationship and the same situation happens. You find out that they got this person pregnant. The third scenario is you find out that the person you were with for some time had a kid but never told you about it within the relationship. So these are some very tough scenarios at which I gave some strong thought to. Before I put my opinion on it, I want to know your thoughts, ladies.
It's not that tough. Lala. It's not that tough.
No,
It's a no for me, bro. It's a no for me,
Basically.
bro.
All three scenarios.
Been there, done it, and I have to leave. Honey.
That's right. Wait, what you mean?
Which
Well, okay, I dated a guy. He had 2 kids. Well, one of them was his stepchild. The other one was his child. He told me that they were his nephews. He didn't tell me.
Ooh.
So how I found out. Oh, and he was married. He didn't tell me.
Oh my goodness.
How I find out, of course, who calls when they're calling? The wife.
Always.
Calling. And she tells me these things, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy. Like, he told me he didn't have any kids, and these kids are his nephews, and literally, I was with this man all the time. So when were you home? It just didn't make sense to me. When they say men can live double lives, and you don't know, listen, honey, but I had to go, because after I found out the truth, and it is what it was, I had to leave. Come to find out, homegirl divorced me. So I'm not with the lie. I don't like drama. So I like to.
if you're saying in all three scenarios, you would say no based on that one.
All three? No. Especially if I was dating you, we got back together, then you have absolutely not. And I'm married now. I'm married now. If my husband was to step out and have a kid, I'm not saying.
No, if that's the case, like the marriage part, that's different. If we're boyfriend and girlfriend and we mutually break up, I go and do me, he's doing him, and in the mix, he end up getting someone pregnant, but we get back together. That's a serious conversation that we have to have, depending on where the relationship is, where it stands between him and the young lady, and the role he's going to play in that child's life. However, if we're married and we separated and you do it, that's a dub. And the other 2 scenarios, it's a straight up no, bye. Because why we have to sit there and think about what we would do when a man straight up would be like, no, like, nah, I don't want that. And they like stick to it. And I'm like, you know what? If they can say no that easy, but then when they go out, we're like, well, I love you, baby, never happen again. Bruh, bye. No.
Yep.
I agree. So with you, Danny.
Yep. You come
I
on,
agree.
because
On top of that, if y'all stay together now, who not only your money is supporting these children or that child, that if I'm with you as one, my money's going there too. And I'm not in there making all those decisions. So I'm still leaving all 3 scenarios out the door.
I can understand that.
I know a person who stayed with their husband after their husband stepped out and they had a child together. And she's making him suffer for this. Oh, child is 8. The man is still suffering. Why stay with
But why stay?
with him?
Why do all that?
Why?
What's an example of suffering?
It's ridiculous, you know. To each his own.
So now, of course, when you go through an experience of this kind of scenario, it's interesting. So keeping it honest, right? So of course, I actually lived this experience of dating someone and thought, we were very honest from the beginning. If we had children, just getting to know one another. And then we were together for about a year and then found out I was pregnant and then, had my child. And then my child was about 6 months, about to go 7 months. And then found out then, and you know what day it was? It was on 4th of July, my Lord. So 4th of July, felt like it was like one of those movies, but found out that he had a child and the child was 3 years old. So, I was like, wait, what? So
he just found out that he had a child, or he knew since birth?
Oh no, he knew, but I didn't know when I asked the question. And there I was like stunned because I just, you just feel at that moment, you feel like a fool. But for me at that moment, I couldn't even do anything because I had a child in my hand, like moving around. And I just had to think to myself, well, I always told myself there's always a slight difference between like insanity and sanity. And I said I could have just go either, you hear me? Insanity, right? Insanity, or sane? No, sane.
Yeah, you got it.
You know what I meant to say, right? And that thin line, you guys. And I said to myself, well, if I go crazy, well, what about my daughter? That's what I said to myself, who's gonna take care of her? So I said, well, let me just keep it together. And let me tell you, it's not easy going through that because, you just think to yourself, like, how did I miss it? Like, how did you get away from not seeing your child? For me to even lie that you even had a child from the beginning, to me, is
right.
It's disgusting. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Excuse me.
So it's safe to say, Shills, you're not with this person, right?
Absolutely not.
When you had asked him, did you ask if you had kids before?
Absolutely, Shammy.
What did he say?
This was off a dating site. Like, we started, from there. So we just started like getting to know each other. Like, so, do you have children? Nope, no children. Or do you want children? Yes. And I always wanted to be like that girl. Like, oh, I want to find a guy who don't have kids. I want to be the, and then our child be the first child. I was thinking, that way. And then I felt defeated. I felt like he took something away from me. That's how I felt. Like, you stole that from me. Because you already had your moment of having your first child, and you stole that moment of me having the package deal. How I felt, looking at it then, and that's what I felt. I felt like something was taken from me. So I was upset and mad, but I felt like I had to do all of that in silo. I couldn't show that because it was just me and my daughter. So I felt like I had to take moments and cry in the shower and cry here. And
okay,
there.
My question is why? Why you couldn't show it?
I just didn't want her to see me I felt like I didn't want her to see me defeated. I didn't want.
Not show her. Show him how upset you were, how disappointed. Curse him out, kick him to the curb, and stand strong for your child.
Now it's funny, Danny. So of course, if some people know me, I'm not that. I don't consider myself an aggressive person, but my friends are a little bit more forward in situations like that they'll take control of, noise. But for me, I try to.
We just basically have your back.
Yeah,
we definitely did.
They wanted to, what do you call it? Slice
Stay ready.
And all that stuff. But I just wanted to be civil because you know why? He expected that reaction. He expected for me to get crazy and upset and mad. He wanted me to get there, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to give you that. You know what, I am not going to give you that because you just keep wanting to oh she's gonna snap. I'm not gonna snap, because you know what? I took care of me first, and after all that, I made sure I cared for myself, and you know, talk to some people,
Look, sometimes no reaction is a reaction. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though when I see women who do that, like the stance that you took, Sheila, of keeping your composure and carrying on, but like, I'm gonna dismiss you and I'm not gonna give you that reaction. I envy you for doing that, because that shows strength. That shows more strength, which I don't have, right? I'm the one who's gonna fly off the handle, or I'm gonna be silent. Meanwhile, I'm gonna slice you with something, or I'm gonna say, no, I'm good, and all your clothes is gonna be burnt, or a leg is gonna be cut off a jean, or I'm gonna put hot oil on your Timberlands. I'm going to get my aggression out, because I feel as though when I keep it in, it stays on my chest. And if you hurt me in my heart, and as a man, I can't really physically hurt you, like punch you, but I'm gonna make you feel something, not something. I'm gonna make you feel something. Yeah, definitely. But
I hear you.
Commend you on that one, Sheila. Based on, for me, thinking about these three scenarios, the two as far as stepping outside of the marriage, 100%. Like, you had a kid, if we, no, that's like no. Especially maybe if we didn't even have a kid together and you ended up getting someone else pregnant, like you had unprotected sex with someone. That's what you're saying. While we're married, so you don't care about me either, and what can happen to me by doing something like that. Also, like, later finding out in your scenario, same stance you took. Like, me and you are similar. Like, I won't show my emotions in that way. Like, I'll be very calm. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking like, Danny, like, I literally want to do something to you, like, but I won't. But in the sense of breaking up with somebody, it would be like how Danny said earlier. It depends on the situation at the time we get back together, like how good the relationship is. And the fact of, let's say that we got back together and we were together for like a year, 6 months strong, and everything is great. Like, we broke up for not something horrible, then I can see like me maybe trying to work through it. But if this is your first child and I don't have a kid with you, I'm just putting different scenarios out there. Like, that would be hard, because I know from experience what a bond is between a father and a mother when they first have a kid together. There's so much things they have to figure out together, and it's not like, if you're not new to it, it's a lot you have to learn. And for me, I would be like, I would be left out of the scenario. I don't know how to take care of a kid, but in my current situation, I'm a mom, and if you end up having a kid and later find out and everything, then I can understand that. I think I could move forward if we're in a good space, unlike what you guys said. Like, it depends on the whole situation. If we're still rocky and I don't trust you, it's like, all right, no point of me even being here. But if we're literally in a good space and it wasn't like broken up on bad terms, I could move forward with that. Danny, you were about to say something. I know it.
no, I was just, you said like, your first kid, the mother and the father have a type of bond, and nah, bro. I mean, because everything, it depends on the relationship between those two people. I mean, I'm bragging. No, but maybe because I was younger, but the relationship between myself and my son's father, nah, because during the whole time of him denying my child that was his child, you get that, I'm pregnant, and they turn to, the first thing out their mouth is it mine? What the fuck you mean, is it yours, bruh? So I was like, I'm sorry, bacon soda? And he's like, is it mine? I'm like, okay, check this out. We ain't gonna go through that. And If you
But I guess
question it,
in the sense of me saying that, there could be different scenarios.
right?
Not every scenario is the same, but regardless of what, there is a bond. So like, let's say that I'm with your ex, your baby father, and he got you pregnant and we're together, but I'm seeing the way he's treating you. That could be a situation for me. That's where it's more of a factor of how you figure out what you're going to do moving forward with that person. Like if he slept with this person and he's treating that person in a certain way, who's to say you won't do the same thing with me? So I guess the word bond is a very tight-knit situation. It's more so like there is something that will happen in this scenario, being that you're now the father of this person's baby. Does that make sense? Like it could be positive, it could be negative, but in the same sense, I'm still involved. So if I'm gonna be with you, it could be in a negative sense. Like if I'm with you, she could be a crazy baby mother where she wants to fight me, she wants to do all these crazy. I'm involved in that, although things could be okay with us. Well, because this is his first child, he wants to be involved. She may not be wanting him to do that. Who am I to get into that? Now that's a problem that I have to be there and stand for it and all that extra. So it's so many like scenarios that you have to think about when it comes to someone getting someone pregnant for the first time and how this is going to turn out. So
I think it also has to do a lot with the age, where you are now in your life, right? Because I think when we were all, and we're going to be real, 17, 18, 19, 20, him having a kid with Cynthia down the block, and then he got back with you, you'd be like, so that's your baby daddy, but I got him now, right? Now you're going to 25, 26, and you're trying to make something of yourself. And he's like, well, I understand that you have her, but I love you and we can raise it together, and then you try to get pregnant. Like that's the first thing. You're like, well, then I'm gonna get pregnant too. She have a kid. Well, I'm gonna have a kid too, because I'm not gonna let that kid take everything, right? Now you're in your 30s and 40s and you're like, bruh, you're like, I gotta deal with this. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on where you are in your life.
True.
And that person too. Because now that I'm older, it's like, all right, if I wasn't married and I broke up with my boyfriend and we was, like I said, totally broken up. Let's say we was broken up for like a year. Right? I'm doing my thing, he doing his thing. Then we get back together and he's like, yo, I just found out such and such is pregnant. I'm older. Maybe we could work through it. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in my late teens. Maybe not. But, and then it's like, the person is more mature now.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the BS. But if you step out, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I have a question. So do you guys think that like assets and things like that y'all discover together plays an effect if you stay or not? Even if that person, say if you guys have a business, you have multiple homes, it's just like y'all have kids, right? And the person steps out and has a child, right? Do you think even the circumstances like y'all actually was doing good and the person stepped out, do you think it still will be easy? Because in my opinion, I think feelings most of the time makes judgment over the mind. So we can all sit here and be like, yeah, no. But when you're in that situation, it could be like, okay, let's weigh out the pros and the cons. Do y'all think that really affects that? It does.
Yeah,
like it hurts. Yes, your heart is broken, but it's just like, okay. So
I was thinking the same thing.
8 years later, like Shammy's friend, if my feelings got involved and I got back with you, but the property situation also has to deal with, like, it really are we married? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend?
You could be boyfriend and girlfriend and still have assets together.
No, right.
So it's like, just like, would a child really ruin that? Like, I guess, I don't know. honestly.
But
in
it's
my
the
opinion,
trust also. It's not just the child, it's the
It's
trust.
the trust, but the littlest things can make you lose trust. You know, so it is the trust with the child, but is it the trust that you don't trust him to be just a father? Or like,
I don't
what
trust
is
him
it?
that he ain't gonna give me an STD. You done got
Yeah.
Shorty pregnant.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if
That
you
is
got that
true.
one pregnant, the only, and my thing is this, when you get, now that you got a child, you gotta come forth, right? Because
Right.
now it's out in the clear.
Right.
How many of the other ones you didn't get caught?
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're not cheating until you get caught.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't steal it until you get caught. If you don't get caught, you keep doing it. So it's
Right.
like in your mind, that's what it comes to also where you at in your life. It's like, I love you,
Self-love.
but do I love myself enough to know
Self-love.
that I deserve better?
Exactly.
Fuck a car, fuck a business, fuck a house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Exactly.
if you think
I
you're gonna
agree.
use that against me, watch what I do. Either I'm gonna burn it down, take you to court, or I'm gonna rebuild.
Always.
Angela Bassett. She is the
She
Angela
don't mean
Bassett.
that, guys. She don't mean
I
that.
think if I think we could say that now. I think we could say that now, but until you in it, you probably, especially if you love that person, you wouldn't know what to do. Because sometimes it's
him.
easy to
You
stay.
can burn him and then stay and watch that burn every day.
Right.
I'm sorry,
I can
Nicole.
easily say I've experienced someone close to me who's experienced this. And I know this because I'm the product of it. I have a brother. We're only 2 months and 1 day apart. We went to the same school up until kindergarten through 5th grade and even 6th grade. So the arguments and like all of the stuff that will fall into this scenario between both mothers, the husband, because my parents were married, all the other scenarios, like I witnessed it firsthand. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. So unless you got a goal and the reason why you're staying, I don't think it's worth it. I know for sure, like, my mom had a goal. She was like, oh, okay, we could do this. We came here for a reason. We moved to this country for a reason. So I know her moving here, her residence here was her main goal. But if you don't have a goal or if you don't have a foundation or a support system, I really don't think that I could see someone really and truly staying regardless of the assets, regardless of anything else. If you
How
just
long
gonna
were
try
your
to stay
mother
on
and
love,
father still together after that?
they divorced when I was 12. So yeah, I don't see it worth it.
It's not like, I know a man, and the man, he talks about how much his wife is putting him through. The fact that he kept saying, yo, she chooses to stay. Like, I've done everything for, like, she will be blowing up. He is miserable, and he don't mind.
But she's miserable too.
For doing it.
Misery loves company.
He wants to leave. He gave her divorce papers. She didn't sign them. She said,
Let me
I'm
say
leaving you.
something.
I'm going to stay with you. It's like, what do you want? But
Jimmy,
Wow.
they lie. Trust me. Because if he really wanted to go, he can go. Nobody
He
can
would've
force
been
you
gone.
to stay where you don't want to be.
Listen,
Yep.
I don't know.
They can't divorce paper.
You
Right?
can't
You can do
make
legal
somebody
separation.
No, you
Peace.
can. You
So
can.
if he really wanted to go, he can go.
But she threatened him. Like, he'll show us like messages. She threatened this man. Like, it's just not okay.
Then if you really
he's not
unhappy,
okay.
no
And he got
threat,
6
no
kids.
nothing is gonna make you stay, because guess what? You're still unhappy staying. So I'd rather be unhappy separate than to be unhappy in the situation.
Exactly.
Like JoJo said, misery loves company, and that's just pretty much, I feel like.
That's all.
And
He
they
liked
both
it.
toxic. That's it.
Yeah, it's both of them. It is right.
They both like
They
it.
love it. They love each other.
Mhm.
They belong together, right? Like, that's it.
They belong
it.
together.
Yeah, everybody is different, so they handle the situation differently. I'm a little bit more aggressive. You know,
We know what the
That's
fires.
crazy.
It's like after seeing different relationships and seeing how guys are talking to guys and realizing that a lot of women would take a man back after they cheat, but if a woman cheat, a man is done, and I don't like that. And I feel as though, you know what, that's really messed up, that we will forgive you for your sins, but you will torture us for hours for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And that's when I'd rather show you that's when I become Sheila and Lala. It's like, I'm gonna show you how strong I am because I'm cutting you off. I'm gonna go home and cry. But when you see me, I'm gonna look together because I'm not gonna take you back, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't take me back. And I believe what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
But you know, when you ask them that question, like, if the roles were reversed, would you take me back?
Nah.
Yeah, baby. No, they'll be like, yeah.
Right.
They're gonna be like, yeah, just so you can stay.
I didn't say that.
My husband would tell me, nah, another man just did that, and you want me to come back to that? Nah.
But, straight up.
Yeah.
I was like, so if I was to, it's like, nah, if you cheat, then, you know, I'm like, you gonna raise hell? Nah, I'm just gonna say hi and I'm gonna walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So different, bro. And it's just like, I don't get it. You know, women, we're always quick to just take a man back, and men, they feel like once I touch, it's like once they touch you, another man cannot touch you.
Oh yeah.
And it's a wrap.
Oh God.
Let's not get
They
into
don't care what you have before, but once they in the picture,
that's a whole nother topic.
Yes.
I would like to hear what you had before. They be like, who? What?
Yeah.
You get that guy? That was your boyfriend? Be like, yeah, in the second grade. Nah, but he was your boyfriend. Be like, that was the second grade. I don't care. Be like, oh, bro, is you serious right now? So.
Call him cornball. What cornball are you talking about now?
There you have it. Give us your thoughts and let us know what you think. And remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, as kids be saying, right?
Bye.
Bye.
Beat the game. I'm not with the break up, the makeup shit.